Thank you, Madam Chairman. It's going to be interesting. This committee and the committee that I chair in the Environment Public Works Committee, the Transportation Committee, we're all going to be working real close together and keeping pretty busy, I think. Mr. Ducker, first of all, let me thank you because you opened up that big station in Oklahoma City. In fact, you came out for the dedication, and I did too. And I just think it's, let me ask you one question about it. I know you have 100 CNG trucks. Is this also going, the station going to be servicing the public too, or just your trucks?
Just our trucks.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
No, sir. Okay.
All right. No, I was going to ask the same question that Senator Hassan asked about some of the innovative things that you have done, but you already answered hers. Let me, Mr. Leathers, mention one other thing having to do with CDLs. The way it used to be, but I know you know this, but some of the members of the committee may not know this, that you could go ahead and get a learner's permit or get a driver's permit in your home state or in another state, and then when you come back to your home state, you would that would be honored. Then the Federal Motor Carrier Administration implemented a rule that would prevent that from taking place. First of all, I don't understand why they did that, and secondly, is there a solution to that to accommodate people who want to go back to the old system?
Senator Inhofe, that's a great question. And so from our perspective, if we're going to take driver training seriously and get best-in-class training out there for men and women entering this industry, we are better served with larger scaled, centralized operations with the best in technology, driver simulators, all of the ability that we can to invest to make sure that we give them the highest quality training. If we were to have to go,
which you could not do,
which you could not do,
all of the states,
you could not do across 50 states, and so realistically speaking, it is a far more cumbersome system we have today for somebody to have to get a CDL permit in their home state.
What's the solution?
I think we have to allow them to get CDL permitting in the state of their school, where they're going to be taking their education, just like certification in other fields would take place the same way. Some sort of federal standard on a CDL learner's permit so that they can go to school, be educated, and be prepared for a career where there are jobs waiting.
I will be helpful to you in that endeavor, so stay in touch. The FAST Act, when we passed the FAST Act, I was chairman of the Environment Public Works Committee. It was the biggest thing that we've done since 1998. And the first time that we had a provision in there for a national freight program, and also provided for fast lane grants. In fact, we in Oklahoma have had a fast lane grant, Mr. Fritz, that was very helpful in accommodating people to get by the railroad crossings. And I think you probably had some pretty good results that we have in Oklahoma. It's kind of a win-win situation because it helps the community with their congestion and it helps the railroads. Any comments about that?
Yes, the kind of spending that you've just outlined, which in a pure sense is public-private partnership, is a perfect way to target those freight dollars. We see the benefit when communities want to step into an investment with a freight railroad like Union Pacific that we couldn't justify the project on our own, but we'll receive some benefit from as well in terms of a more fluid network and a better service product for the customer base. Grade crossing separations are an example of that. So can be last mile investment like Senator Wicker mentioned. So we are very supportive of what you've just talked about.
Yeah, well, that's worked out very well in my state of Oklahoma. Back to you, Mr. Ducker. You cite the congestion in our nation's highways and in our cities as a major issue that you face daily. What are some of the proposals that you recommend out there that might reduce that congestion?
Well, I think there are a number of things that can. I brought up one in my oral testimony, putting less trucks on the road by increasing the capacity of the trucks that are already on the road with twin 33s as opposed to twin 28 trailers is one. Congestion pricing is another thing that could be considered. Perhaps new roads that are built around congestion areas paid for by tolls. That sometimes has a public-private partnership element to it. I think there are a number of things. Using the technology that my colleagues have talked about here early in terms of connecting customers with our vehicles and with the delivery schedules that we're on is another example of that as well. So those are just a few thoughts that come to mind on that.
That's good. Thank you, Madam Chairman.